Oh my gosh, YouTube. What the Khorne's blood is going on? Welcome. We're going to talk about Warhammer 3 today. In case you haven't already seen the news flying around here, that's right, Warhammer 3, our first look into the gameplay is here. And we get to try out a new battle type called a survival battle, which is new. So, let's jump right into what is the setting of this battle, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about what's new in survival battles, and then show you my experience. Far beyond the world and its petty wars, there exists a dimension of pure, malevolent magic, the realm of chaos. It's a terrible place, incomprehensible to the mortal mind. It whispers promises of power, but to behold it is to be seduced by it, to relinquish your soul to it, to become it. The four ruinous powers rule over this place, ever seeking to slip their bonds and engulf the world in a tide of demonic corruption. Nurgle, the plague god, Slaanesh, the lord of excess, Tzeentch, the changer of ways, and Khorne, the god of blood and slaughter. On the border between the worlds, two mighty kingdoms stand sentinel, the stern warriors of Kislev and the vast empire of Grand Cathay, but each is beset by its own trials, and now both have cause to cross the threshold and send their armies into the realm of chaos. The world stands on a precipice. A single push will plunge them into a cataclysm. And there is one who schemes to achieve just that, an ancient figure who desires nothing less than to wield supreme power. But to succeed, he will need a champion. The coming conflict will engulf all. Will you conquer your demons, or command them? So if that doesn't get you hyped for Warhammer 3, well then chances are you're a historical-only fan of Total War. And if that's the case, then this probably won't have you that hyped. But if you're the rest of us, then holy crap are you hyped. Yeah, I mean, look, giant ice polar bear there, right? So, what is this battle? I gave you the primer for it here, but what is survival battle? What makes it different? I'm going to dive into those, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what's new in survival battles, and then like I had said previously, then we'll jump in and I'm going to show you my experience as I got to play this survival battle hands-on. I just figured you all might like some of this sweet B-rolly goodness right up front so you could see some of the troops that you're going to see. Now, obviously, this is a battle where the player commands Kislev, and they are fighting against Khorne's demons. And this is all taking place at the Brass Citadel. So again, we'll get into that a little bit more. Let's talk a little bit about what's new in survival battles. Okay, so as part of Warhammer 3's campaign narrative, each faction you're going to play as has to embark on some kind of terrifying journey through the four realms of chaos in order to achieve your aims in the campaign. This particular survival battle is set within the Brass Citadel, which is a giant fortress of blood, bones, and metal that overlooks the ageless desolation of Khorne's realm. I know, it sounds lovely, and it's because it is. It really does look great. Basically, in order to be successful in this battle, you're going to have to carve your way across the map. There's three main capture points. You're going to have to fight off multiple waves of demons. As you capture different parts of the map, you're going to earn battle currency called supplies. This is going to let you build things, recruit warriors, make upgrades. And then the waves of demons, of course, are going to increase in number and difficulty as you progress, so it's going to be a little bit crazy. So let's start off talking supplies. As you slay your enemies and you take victory points, you're going to be given supplies. And you can spend these on a number of different things that you're going to be able to see here on the screen. Construction. So let's talk about that. When you get supplies, you can choose to use those to build barricades. You can choose to use to build towers, support points that help your troops fight better, stuff like that. So you can construct things that will help. You can also get army improvements. So you can improve your troops by using an upgrade menu to upgrade melee weapons, armor, projectiles, and shields on a unit. So that is another way that you can spend your supplies. You can also use those supplies to recruit new units and by withdrawing those units. So essentially you can recruit new units as they become available as you capture your way through the map, and you can retreat units temporarily and let them heal up, and then they can be re-recruited to the battle using those supplies. Another thing that will be new in this battle is going to be Tsarina Katarin and her Lore of Ice. Now, she is the Ice Queen of Kislev, and she is a legendary lord that will be leading your forces into this battle. Now, she is Tsarina Katarin Boka, the Ice Queen, and she's known as one of the most powerful ice witches to have ever lived. From the icy fastness of her capital city in Kislev, the Ice Queen rules her land with an aloof majesty. Her power is said to come from the very land of Kislev itself, its frozen peaks and bleak tundra, giving her mastery of that form of wizardry known as ice magic. Now, the spells that were available, I'll just cover these quickly. You may not see me use them all, but I wanted to talk about them because they're here. You've got Crystal Sanctuary, which is an augment that provides massive damage resistance to friendly units. Frost Blades, which is an augment to provide buffs to weapon and AP weapon damage, and melee attack for the duration of it. You have Ice Maiden's Kiss, which is a breath spell, which reduces movement speeds and causes damage over time. And you have Death Frost, which is a direct damage spell, which causes massive damage over time. That's the one that I'm going to make heavy use of. We have Ice Sheet, which reduces the movement and charge speed of a target enemy. And then Heart of Winter, which is a 4-phase DOT AoE spell, which causes increasing damage and movement speed reductions per phase. I got it wrong. Heart of Winter is actually the one that I'm going to use a lot in this. So, I'm going to let you see from the load-in screen. I'm going to load into the battle. This was my third time to play the battle. Yes, I won it all 3 times. The first time, it was literally by the skin of my teeth. Like, I had 1 unit left and barely won. Second time, I got a little better. Third time, I felt like I was doing the best, and that's why I want to show you all this, so that hopefully you can see this battle with me kind of figuring out some of the workings of it, and you'll see how I chose to take to it. Now, obviously, other people got to play it. You can go watch and see how they played it as well. Now, I'm going to kind of be quiet and let you hear some of the narrative here at the beginning.
Warriors of Kislev! We have traveled far and fought hard, but at last we have arrived in Khorne's bloody realm. Before us stands the Brass Citadel, where the Blood God's Gatekeeper stands guard. We must call out the fiend and slay him. He rallies his demons for a last desperate defense. Vanquish them with ice and steel. This is a ruined fort, defended by Khorne's lesser thralls. Wipe them out and capture the icon of ruin. This will give me a foothold and grant us supplies to reinforce for the struggle ahead.
So what you're going to be seeing now is me controlling the battle. And I have to say, and I'm going to say this right off the bat, first off, we're trying to capture this first capture point you heard her talking about, so I'm not going to play-by-play this. I want to talk to you a little bit about the battle as a whole. This battle, and again, this is coming from me, I'm a seasoned veteran of Total War. I've been playing Total War since basically Total War's been around, and I've been recording it on YouTube for over 12 years. I know my way around a Total War battle, and this battle kept me busy. And it was a real challenge the first time around. There was a lot to manage here. Having to manage supplies, the capture points, being attacked in the rear the whole time. What should I build? How should I upgrade my troops? When should I call in reinforcements? Where should I place my troops? Oh crap, I'm being attacked. I need to react to it. It kept you busy. Like, this was very busy. Now, can you get better at it over time? Absolutely. I mean, like I said, I saw a marked improvement from my first battle to my third one. And the cool thing about it is that these new features, the construction, the reinforcements, the upgrades, they're like a sandbox. And it's kind of neat because you're going to see how I choose to play in the sandbox. And again, some of my decisions in this battle that you're watching were influenced by my experience on the first 2 run-throughs, and so I'm changing the way I use the sandbox and how I'm going to use it to do better in the battle. And this was a fun process. It felt rewarding to me to try out the different new features and play with them. And honestly, I didn't even get time to try all of them to the extent that I wanted. But even by this third battle, I was doing things very differently. I got you a few unit close-ups here to help out. Those winged hussars were absolutely marvelous. And here is Tsarina Katarin. She was also a really awesome unit in this battle. Just fantastic. And you'll see lots of other cool units. But in any case, let me explain a little bit, I guess, further into this. So I really like these new features they're adding.
The icon of ruin is ours!
Sorry, I'm going to be quiet, let you listen.
And we have supplies to fortify our position. Use them to construct defensive towers here. We can barricade these bottlenecks. Use the portals to summon fresh troops or heal and upgrade our warriors, using whatever supplies we have left.
Alright, so you saw the portal there, that's how you call in reinforcements, and then she discussed the barricades. You're going to see me interacting with the user interface here and preparing. Obviously, I know how and where I'm going to be attacked from by this point, because it's multiple times in. but you're seeing that I'm choosing to build some very powerful magical towers to start with. And I'm going to also call in some Streltsky, which are an awesome like gun comboed with a great axe unit, so they're kind of a hybrid missile melee, and they are a fantastic unit, and they were really the backbone for me in this fight, as you'll see as it goes on. In any case, again, this is my third time through, and I'm using the sandbox, so I know I like the Streltsy because of their ranged damage output, and I know that I can give them more ammo as they need it. I can, choose to put healing on them. I can support them with other units, and I can use barricades to force all of the demons right into a kill box for my Streltsky. Streltsky, however you pronounce it. I may be saying it slightly wrong. If I am, I apologize. But in any case, again, this was how I decided to play with the sandbox here, and I'll let you all see how this works. But I mean, again, this battle was great. Kept me really busy, and I feel like it has a lot of potential. Obviously, I don't know some of the things that CA is planning to take this mindset, but we had all talked about wanting to see siege battles get better. I don't know if all siege battles are going to include elements like this in Total War Warhammer 3, but I love what they've done here because it opens a realm of possibilities to make these battles more interesting, more replayable, and more rewarding for the player. And you could also make them somewhat unique to each faction if you took elements like this and had it be a part of a siege. Again, I don't know that they're going to do any of this. I'm just saying this and suggesting it because of the experience that I had. But let's kind of watch what happens. So the strategy I took up here was I built a couple of barricades just to kind of bring all of the demons of Khorne up this one spot. And then I built the magic towers. It took up a ton of my supplies. I can't really even call that many reinforcements. I only really had enough money to bring in the Streltsky, but the towers cause a ton of damage. The barricades force all my enemies into one spot, and then watch what happens as they move into the kill box I've created for my Streltsky. So that basically was something that I realized, hey, if I'm going to win this battle, and I'm going to win it big, we got to be efficient about how we take out the enemy. And so rather than just building barricades haphazard everywhere, I built the barricades in a very specific spot. You'll notice that some of their units are coming to tear down my barricades. Well, those ones are going to be particularly susceptible to Tsarina's magic, and I'm going to use it over there, Tsarina Katarin's magic. You're going to see me absolutely wipe out these units who are trying to break through the barricades because they're idiots and they're stuck. And then the units who choose not to go for the barricade, they may not get Tsarina Katarin's cold magic, but they will get a hot and lethal dose of lead from my Streltsy, who are now firing at these lesser demons. And then if the lesser demons make it into my Streltsy, I'm also going to be able to charge my winged lancers in and finish them off, which like you're going to see right here. So again, I have a perfect kill box set up, and I've wiped out basically this first wave of demons that came in fighting for Khorne. So pretty effective so far. You see those magic towers, again, they cost me a ton of supplies, but well worth it as we're able to blast things. And by killing all these demons, I'm earning more supplies. So this will be setting me up for the next phase. And by being efficient like this, I can sit on my supplies to a degree, and I can bring them to bear at a time where they'll be more useful rather than just kind of blowing them all haphazardly by pulling in as many troops as I can and just throwing down a barricade everywhere just because I can. You know what I mean? Like, so it's using your stuff smart. Like I said, it was an interesting facet of this battle, and I seemed to learn a little bit more about it every time as I went on, and I would test slightly different things. The magic tower here causes a slowing effect. There was a magic tower that had a different effect to it. I think it took away armor. There was an arrow tower that had a slowing effect, and an arrow tower that reduced armor. So again, it's a sandbox. You play it how you feel like you need to. The speed reduction for me seemed like a really smart choice, because that speed reduction was slowing down the units of Khorne while my Streltsy and other units were pounding them and continuing to kill them. I was using my Zargard, which is the heavy sword units you can see down there in my unit panel. They were kind of my holding force just to keep all the Warhounds that were running up out. And again, the Streltsy here were going to be my main killing power. And I get you some really beautiful close-ups of these guys in action here. Oh, those beautiful handguns. This game was absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it looked fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I'm so excited. I mean, the hype train is real for me at this point. You can decide whether it is for you or not by watching this, but for me, the hype train is real. Anyway, get you some sweet close-ups here. These, I think they were bloodletters, or I don't know. I don't remember the name of all the Khorne units. If I mouse over them, you'll be able to pause it and see their name. But anyway, my Streltsy kill box here is working absolutely fantastic. I don't even really have to use my winged lancers at this point. I mean, the demons are getting absolutely shredded as they run through these choke points, and I've done on this side exactly like I did on the other side. And again, it's proving to be very effective at beating down my enemies here. And there's some heavier troops that came in now. These are some Chaos Warriors here. They've got a bigger shield and a lot more armor, so you'll notice that the Streltsy didn't just immediately melt them entirely like they did the demons. And it's also kind of cool to see these mixed Chaos armies coming in with demons and warriors and hounds and monsters. And like, I mean, there's just, you'll see as we go on. It's very great. Now, the forces of Kislev to me were very interesting. I mean, obviously in a lot of ways, it's got some similarities to the Empire. But like, for instance, the Zargard was a very curious unit that's quite different than, say, anything we've seen from the Empire yet. Heavily shielded, nice defense, really able to hold the line against the enemies, and you'll see me use them for that throughout this battle, and just being able to hold that line. Are they competent against foes? Sure. Like lesser foes, they're quite competent. They weren't like a real aggressor unit per se, but they were a very nice defensive unit. And then you had Streltsy, which were a very nice like combo melee missile. They did a ton of damage from range, but if you're in a pinch and you had to throw them in, look at that. That's that Heart of Winter 4-phase area of effect spell. It was just brutal. Like, I mean, you saw it just absolutely wipe out the units that are there. And that's exactly what I've done here. So I'm going to build up a couple of extra barricades now at the end of this. And basically, I'm only going to leave the rear of this position open so that it can be easily guarded by a couple of Zargard. And I'm going to leave some archers. I think they're called Cassars. Cassars, however you say it. It's an archer unit with a spear. And I'm going to leave them with the Zargard to just kind of help guard this area in the back once we've captured it. And again, you'll see how all this plays out. But that was my strategy thus far. Again, let's say that you're playing this on your own. Maybe you focused on some kind of unit upgrade. Maybe you focused on bringing in more reinforcements, and you used your Lancers to come around and rear charge these guys while you held up. You know, you can do it however you want. Here comes phase 2. Check this one out.
We must press on into the blood pits and seize the icon of blood!
Oh my gosh, that background is really immersive on the graphics and the scenery here, the sound effects, the music. I'm loving it all. Like I said, it's very immersive. Really felt like the realms of chaos here, if you might imagine. Check out the sweet portal here where I'm calling in my reinforcements. So I called in some horse archers, and we called in some Cassars. I think those were the archers with the spears that I just called in. I'm going to leave them behind to kind of help keep this. Now, as you take this first capture point, you'll have to defend this capture point. You're going to be constantly attacked and harassed from behind, and so it starts to split your attention as you have to hold it. I chose to use my Zargard and those magic towers and barricades to try and funnel all of the attackers that were coming in from the rear right into my Zargard, where they would be shot by towers and then also be shot by my Corsars. So you can see, or Corsars, I don't know, one of the two. You'll be able to see it on the writing. I just hear them talk, and if I get it wrong, I apologize. All this is new to me. We're going to take our horse archers, and I'm going to start harassing, because already the demons of Khorne and their agents of chaos are moving up to attack me again with a new force that are coming from the blood pits, which is our next objective. And you'll notice that the resources slow down when you're not killing units, and they only come during certain times of the battle. So you can't just sit there and camp and get endless resources. You have to attack, and you have to go capture things. So it was a very nice balance where you definitely wanted to be strategic, and there were times to defend, but then there was times to be on the attack. So again, I took my horse archers out, and I've started laying into all of these Chaos Warriors as they come in. So yeah, you can see back here I'm still being attacked. I'll occasionally have to turn my attention back and check the back lines. We're doing good. Look at my Streltsy. Again, I've set up another kill box, so that's going to be my repeating strategy where possible, where I believe that I can funnel the AI in. I'm going to funnel them in And I'm going to use the massive range damage done by my Streltsy, and my Horse Archers are actually pretty solid too against units without shields. You can see them doing a lot of damage to that Chaos Warrior with Halberd back there. And then my Streltsy here just absolutely owning things as they get forced into these choke points. And boy, these demons look sick. All these units look absolutely awesome. Absolutely fantastic. So I wiped out the defenders here in a very efficient manner, which is gaining me supplies, and then I'm not having to use healing abilities or other stuff. All I need to do is just get a little bit of ammo. And occasionally you'll see me do stuff like that. If you kind of look there, actually I'll get you some close-ups here, some more Chaos Warriors rolling in. I see these guys as they get hammered by my archers, and Streltsy is sent packing back to the blood pits. Blood for the Blood God. I guess I'm actually just serving Khorne here, even if it's not intentionally. So I'm going to move on up now and get ready to go capture the next point. And while I'm moving up, let me, I guess, explain a couple things. You'll see right down there under Zarina Katarin's unit card, there are several buttons there. That's where you're going to be calling in reinforcements, where you can upgrade units. That's what the little armor icon is. And then the little, persons there with the plus up above it. That's where you can call in, that's where you can do things like heal a unit or get their stamina back or give them more ammunition, I believe. So there's a lot of different things you can do. Ammunition, obviously going to be key for me because of the strategy I'm using with the Streltsy. Check out the Warhounds here being shot by my towers, shooting the ice balls out here, slowing down the enemy. Look at the pile of corpses in front of my Zargard. Ain't nobody getting past these guys easy. And then there they are, backed up by my Corsairs. So cool archer plus spear unit. So again, nice melee unit. It gives Kislev a very unique feel. They've got they got a very nice mix of units, and I think it makes them feel very fun. And you'll see more as we go on. The Elemental Bear, the Griffin Legion. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff you're gonna see. So they had some polar bear mounted cavalry. They had horse cavalry. They had horse archers. They had artillery. They had guns. They had this lore. Anyway, they're a very interesting faction. Very diverse, but also a very unique flavor away from the Empire, from what I was feeling with them. And I think that makes that very interesting to me. So again, you're going to see me kind of hesitant here. I am going to fast forward it for a minute as I move these units up. I'm trying to make sure all my units are up here before I capture this point. Well, why? Well, because I've played the battle before, and I've now learned, hey, the minute you capture that point, regardless of whether your forces are up there and ready to protect it, the fight's on. Like, the next legion's coming from Khorne, and it ain't no joke. It gets harder as you go, so whatever you saw me fight before, like, that was easy. Yeah, well, get ready. Strap in and get ready, because there's a lot more demons where those came from. I promise you that. So you can see me actually going ahead and getting all my forces in another defensive position. This position up here is not quite as easy for me to set up the same kill boxes. Maybe it is, maybe I just didn't figure it out, but you're going to see what I decided to do here, which was I kind of put all my units back to back with the Streltsy facing out and bows and Zargard backing them up, and it's basically going to give me the ability to set up a defensive position where as Khorne sends his forces in and collapse on me from both sides, they're being shot, charged, and harassed by winged hussars, and then hit by Zarina Katarin's magic. So basically I'm setting up kind of a turtle formation knowing that they have to come attack me, and I'm going to make the most of my defensive capabilities. But again, you saw me making all those orders prior to stepping into that, because now we've captured it.
Use the fresh supplies to summon them. Construct more towers and barricades to help the defense.
Alright, I'm going with more of the same magic towers, and I know that I'm going to be attacked from over here on my left flank first, but I have enough supplies because I've been saving. I'm able to build all these towers without regard to really needing a whole lot of reinforcements, but I did go ahead and pull some more in. So I pulled an extra Zargard because I need some heavy infantry to help hold. You're going to see me position them here where I think they're needed most, and then I'll call in more reinforcements over time as I have the supplies to do so, because right now I'm pretty low on supplies. But you'll see we earn it as we keep killing this Wave 2 here, which is now inbound. Like I said, Wave 2 is going to be pretty significant. Look, we're being attacked from both sides at once this time as well, right? Not so easy to just bottle these guys up. You had to come up with a new strategy, and that's exactly why you're seeing me reacting the way I am here. I can't focus all of my attention to one spot, but what I'll try and do is concentrate my attention into only 2 spots, not 3 or 4 Right, I want to concentrate my firepower. You can see back here I can give my Corsairs some extra ammo, make sure that they keep fighting. Again, just I tried to set up that back line to be as low maintenance as possible. So, you know, I've got those Zargard holding, and my Corsairs, fire support, towers of fire support. Here comes the enemy. Streltsy! Fire! I love these units. They are so great. So yeah, Streltsy wipe up some of the first invaders that are coming through, but there are many more behind. And we are definitely going to end up in some pretty massive melees. You can see my supply count is climbing. I did have to give some more ammo to some of these units, though. I got to keep my Streltsy ammoed up, ready to fight. But again, my supplies are getting up higher, where I'll be able to call in more reinforcements soon as needed. But I've spent a massive amount of money on my towers, and I need them to pay off for me. And you can see them; they cause a lot of damage, and they slow down units. And slowing down units in front of your guns, obviously, is going to be great. I'm going to use my horse archers here too to also put some shots in. There's actually some heavy cavalry coming in from Khorne, so I've got to watch it. I'm about to be charged by him, so you can see it. I've got my Zargard here and Streltsy, and I'm going to use the Zargard to kind of keep all the units off of my Streltsy. And I want the Streltsy to be able to keep firing for as long as possible, because that's where they really do their damage. Look at how they just annihilate these unshielded units. I called in this hero here too. I've sent him into melee because he'll help hold down that whole cavalry unit. And again, you can see the archers from the center supporting. And of course I have Tsarina Katarin there to support as well. But you'll notice that I'm going to mostly just make use of Heart of Winter. Now, I probably could have done more spells, but I was trying to be very conservative because, as you can see, this battle gets harder as it goes on. So I was playing quite conservatively in order to make sure that I had tons of magic for the last waves, and I was trying to survive these with in as efficient a way as possible. And again, as soon as we get a big blob, you'll see me start to bring together the Heart of Winter, which is that giant 4-phase area of effect spell, which is going to cause the massive damage. There you go. Called in some more reinforcements. So I'm going to get those in here. The reinforcement system's really cool. So it's another Zargard to come help hold the enemy. I've used my Wing Lancers to charge infantry. And so now we've got a pretty good melee forming up over here on this other flank. Might start to be enough to necessitate Tsarina Katarin's magic. So that's exactly what you're going to see me do here. Once I know there's going to be enough enemy troops in this area of effect to make it worth it, then I will use it, because it does use quite a lot Winds of Magic to cast that spell. And you're going to see I'm going to use some augments and other stuff there too, just to help out, keep my units alive for longer. But again, we're going to get a fairly efficient trade here. You can see wave 2 is down to 15%, dropping fast. Definitely a tougher wave, and had I not been prepared to fight these, so let's say that you're being sloppy, and I just move like my cavalry forward and say, oh, I can go capture that point really easy, and I go move my cavalry forward and capture it, you're going to get completely overrun by these warriors for Khorne. Man, this game is beautiful. Look at that lighting and the explosions. Oh gosh, it's beautiful. The worst part about getting to play this early is not being able to play it again. I can say that honestly. CA did not pay me to say this.
One final push to the Boiling Moat! We must seize the Icon of Torment and tempt Khorne's Gatekeeper from his lair!
You can see now that there's a large single entity monster guarding this final objective up here. So we have to capture the Icon of Torment. And once again, you're going to see me try and get my troops repositioned, and I'm going to move in as organized a fashion as I can. This final one is going to be even harder to defend than the one I'm at. There's not much space to maneuver when you get up there, and there's really not a lot of great places to put your backs against the wall and still hold the objective. So the final fight is going to get crazy. But there's going to be a few things that we can use to our advantage. All those reinforcements, the big elemental bears, and the Griffin Legion, and the Polar Bear Cavalry, and that may be one and the same, but all these things, cannons, we can bring it all to bear in that last battle, and we'll be able to get some very good tools. And again, I'm saving Tsarina Katarin's magic as best I can so that we can have it all ready, because look at this, is that Exalted Bloodletter or something like that. I think I don't remember all the names of these demon units, but it's like the big exalted demon there attacking us. You can see he's pretty powerful. Bloodthirster. Yeah, it's a Bloodthirster. So the Bloodthirster is attacking us, and I'm trying to get him with my Streltsy. I'm trying to shoot him, but they're kind of in melee. So then I remember I have my my Winged Lancers back here, and I'm like, you know what? Let's get these guys. Check that, Warriors of Khorne with dual weapons. So that's a heavy anti-infantry type unit, can do a ton of damage. But my cavalry have a massive charge, and they kind of got caught on their heels there. So I'm gonna knock them out and move forward. So we're gonna just kind of plow our way through these Warriors of Khorne. But yeah, Chaos is gonna have a lot more flavors to them, a whole lot more flavors. So I don't know, so far so good. Looks like my strategies are working out. I'm gonna take these two groups and I'm gonna push them forward. This Icon of Torment, and like I said, this is gonna be an interesting one because the defensive position up here is much more challenging to defend. It's gonna be harder for me to make those choke points, and then these are gonna be the cream of the crop as far as Khorne's forces go that I'm gonna have to fight off up at the Icon of Torment. And again, this is another thing that made the battle. I had to keep checking back here, right? How are my troops doing? Do I need to heal them? Do I need to give them ammo? Do I need reinforcements? Is the AI bringing any different things that I need to be aware of? You know, so I had to continuously check back there.
The Queen marches.
All right, we got Tsarina Katarin moving up, and we're gonna have things in position. I'm gonna try and have a little bit of cavalry on both flanks, so that I've got something to respond. You can see my units moving up, and they're getting ready to capture. And like I said, be careful about when you kind of kick that capture off, because they come fast and furious once you make the capture. And it was fun. Like I said, I don't want them to change it. It was difficult. Like I said, this is my third playthrough, and the first one literally came down to, I think it was my last unit of Streltsy. I had no more supplies. Or no, it may have been a Kassar Guard or something way back in the back. Anyway, I mean, I had literally down to my last units, no more supplies, and I barely killed Khorne's Gatekeeper that you're soon to see here. I barely killed him.
I claim the Icon of Torment.
Interesting.
The demon will come. Use the last of our supplies to ready our defenses. Raise towers, raise barricades, and summon forth the greatest of the Motherland's champions!
Now, perhaps I should be using more barricades here, but I decided not to. I decided to save my supplies, build towers, and then bring in the best reinforcements. So I've got 2 elemental bears now coming in. Now, these are massive, armor-piercing, area of effect damage. They have breath attacks, really powerful units that can come in and hold the enemy. And my hope was that I could, like, blob up some of the enemy on the elemental bear and then maybe shoot them with the Streltsy, or use Tsarina Katarin's magic in order to help keep the enemy at bay if I was able to hold them with these big, powerful elemental bears. You can see that there's a lot going on. I'm intentionally not pausing here. I don't remember, I may have occasionally done like a slow motion, but I was trying to keep the challenge here of trying to manage everything at once. You can see that I'm already being attacked by heavy cavalry here in this wave number 3 here from Khorne. We've got another Bloodthirster coming in, and these things can fly right over the top of all your defenses. So again, that's another reason why it gets harder as it goes on. You can see I've kept my missile units in the back, and I'm hoping to be able to shoot at these Bloodthirsters who are going to be up in the air. Again, you can see my Elemental Bear and other units helping to hold. My Zargard took a charge from some cavalry there, but they should be able to hold the line. And wave 3 is well underway. See the Bloodthirster now getting into combat. He's taking a lot of damage from my missile units, which so far working as intended. And then my Elemental Bear here sending those Warriors of Khorne packing along with their filthy demons. Kislev's icy power at hand here. But, you know, those Bloodthirsters being able to dive bomb into my backlines causes a lot of disruption. You can see my Streltsy and some archers did help me take out that Bloodthirster. And you can see in the background, portals will continuously pop up as more and more reinforcements are coming on. And Wave 3 is fully underway. And boy, do we have some enemies here. We've got a lot of enemies. Fortunately for me, though, as I kill them, I'm also gaining more supplies because there are more reinforcements I can call in as well. And you can tell we're going to need them. My Winged Lancers are starting to take a beating as this massive wave of Khorne's warriors and demons roll in on me. and I'm starting to run out of units to hold them. I got to get my elemental bear up here, and then try and cycle charge my cavalry to try and get the most out of them. But I mean, we are taking some damage. Here's a blob. Perfect time to bring in the Heart of Winter and start to rip apart this big blob of chaos warriors and demons. And you're going to see here Katarina's power coming to bear. Kind of pun intended there, right? Elemental bear, Kislev bear. Okay, you get it. In any case, I'll stop. There are some artillery back there. You can see some artillery pieces for Khorne off in the distance. And they'll be shooting at my elemental bears and other units and causing them quite a bit of damage. Fortunately, over on my right flank, which just went off screen, my Tsarina's spell has just absolutely shredded a huge blob and reduced the amount of the attackers by quite a lot. So I'm able to redeploy these forces. My elemental bear's doing a great job at holding off a bloodthirster, and then this one over here is going to continue to kind of hold off the Khorne's reinforcements. And Wave 3 is well underway, and so far, so good. But I mean, you can see we're taking some damage. Some of my Streltsy have been beaten up badly in melee. The lighter units that came early on, the Streltsy could probably even match in melee, but these are some of Khorne's finest coming at us now. Heavy cavalry, heavily armored infantry, dual weapons, things that are going to really hurt, you know, a unit like Streltsy when they get into melee, and you're seeing that be the case here. My Zargard are performing admirably, but some of them are also taking damage in this process, so it is a bit of a desperate fight. And then as it turns into a melee where I'm not able to use my magic and my Streltsy's guns, you can see that this battle quickly starts to be much more favorable for the forces of Khorne. And I'm going to bring in this breath spell here. This is Ice Maiden's Kiss, so it reduces movement speed and causes damage to enemies over time there, so it's pretty good. And I'm going to bring in this Heart of Winter again, and because I've got another blob here, and I've got plenty of magic. That's why I was saying this. Saving this, I should say. And we're going to wipe these guys out. You can see a Bloodthirster taking on the Elemental Bear here. Fire versus Ice. Epic elemental battle in an absolutely epic setting. Oh yeah. It's beautiful, folks. It is beautiful. So, Wave 3 is nearly defeated. It's at 5% of its strength. There's probably a couple of cannons out there who are still shooting at me. But other than that, we've made it through. We've got a decent amount of supplies here, and I'm going to try and restore some of the hit points on a few of my units as this battle starts to wind down. We just got a skull cannon coming in there that I need to kill. There's another one coming in from the other flank that will charge with some of my lancers, get out there and attack and kill these skull cannons. So, again, so far, so good, working out rather nicely. But if you thought Wave 3 was it, folks, oh no. No, this battle's not over yet. Yes, that was an epic wave, but there's another wave, and it's the one where Khorne's champion shows up. So if you thought you had a big battle so far, again, strap in, buckle up, get ready, Buttercup, because we got more coming. I'm going to send some of my Streltsy back to the portal in order to start to replenish.
Gatekeeper shows himself at last! Warriors of Kislev! Prepare for the fight of your lives!
Yeah, it's about to get real, folks.
Our foes threaten the motherland anew!
Now comes the true test of our mettle as we take on the boss wave here. You're going to see me slow it down for a minute because at this point I'm a little bit scared. And that's a good thing. I think as I continue to play this, obviously I probably wouldn't need to slow it down, but I did go ahead and do it just a little bit here because I had a lot of units on screen. I needed to call in some reinforcements. I'm going to get some Griffin Legion and War Bear Riders. I'm going to pull all them in, get my Horse Archers back that had been back replenishing, and of course I don't have infinite supplies. There's only so much I can bring in. But even though I'm bringing in all these units, and I'm bringing them in about as quick as I can, look at that. Khorne's minions are just warping in right in front of us, and we've got a whole bunch to defend here. So, you know, there's going to be a lot of action, and it's going to be happening quick here. And you can see, oh boy, the boss coming straight at me there, flying through the air. Giant demon. Looks absolutely amazing. So here comes Khorne's champion, his Gatekeeper. And I'm going to start attacking. I got to move my cavalry again. I got a whole bunch of units here. I went ahead and hit play, though, just to make sure this is going to be a good challenge for me. I'm going to bring my heroes in. I'm going to send a whole bunch of people to try and take out that massive beast. I've got my archers turned on him. But he's not the only thing attacking us. We're going to have other things attacking us. So fortunately for me, my elemental bears can help hold. I've got all this cavalry here. I've got to start to try and split them up. They're all just back here in the back. So here comes my war bear riders and Griffin Legion. Some very nice cavalry units. So I'm going to split them up, get them moving out here to come help me. You can see we got more reinforcements coming in. And my towers, fortunately for me, though, are going to do some very nice damage to the enemy as they come in. Look at all this. Look at everything that was attacking that boss, and he's still barely even scathed. We've got 81% of the boss wave to go here. And some of my troops are taking a major beating. Great blob here, so let's get that Heart of Winter cast. And I'm going to use my war bears to help really send these warriors of Khorne packing, send them back to the void from whence they came. And then I'm going to have my Griffin Legion, or sorry, these are my Winged Lancers, I believe. Maybe Griffin Legion, I can't remember which one's which. I think this is the Winged Lancers. I'm going to pull them in, make a charge. I've got some Zargard and other units that came in back here. I'm going to make sure my archers are still targeting that demon. I didn't catch his name there. If you all want to pause it there, you can catch it. Anyway, I've got all these units firing away here. And remember, I'm not even paying attention to what's going on in the rear. You can see there on the mini-map, I'm still being attacked in force in the rear. And so, you know, all the things you had to keep track of here. We did a lot of damage on that left flank. Look at this, only 78%, or there's still 78% remaining, so we still have a massive wave of enemies. I was able to use my horse archers, do a little bit of kiting here, which is good. Pull away some of those troops, keep them away from the fight. I had some Zargard that was back here, and boy, am I glad to have them. I mismanaged them, but glad to have them. Here's the backlines. I'm actually struggling. You can see I'm almost out of forces on that left-hand side, so I'm going to have to call in probably just my unit of Streltsy here. They're a nice combo unit that should be able to shoot and hold the ground in melee against these lighter units that are attacking me from behind. So again, I had to still manage that with all this going on. I've got a lot of supplies at this point. So I should be able to call in reinforcements potentially. If we need more, I'll call in what I can. My horse archers were able to kite that unit, and now I'm going to push them back up. As kind of looking around, there's some skull cannons on the flank, so I got to go get those, or else we're going to keep taking a lot of damage. Check out the bar there. I mean, my elemental bears taking a beating. One of them's gone. So I mean, this is a difficult fight, and I've had a ton of units targeted all over that demon, and he is still just ravaging through my troops. And we've got a pretty desperate fight going, but I was able to get some reinforcements in here with my supplies and continue the fight. So here we go. I'm going to bring my reinforcements forward. My Winged Lancers are trying to fight their way through some, I think it's like a Bloodthirster or something there. Check out this demon. I'll get you all some close-ups. Look at my War Bears fighting him. Talk about epic here. We got icy arrows and towers firing in from the background. That sweet lighting coming up against our War Bears. Fighting bravely, but being overpowered by this great champion of Khorne. And then check out this skull cannon coming after me too. So I realized that we need to get after the skull cannons. I'm going to get some of these units here. Some of my melee cavalry and others, and we're going to start attacking. There goes the Griffin Legion. Winged Lancers getting into action. And we are starting to get closer to the end of this wave. There's not as many individual units now. We mostly just have to finish off the boss. I was able to get more reinforcements in. I was able to bring my hero back. My single entity hero there, who rides on the bear. You can see my Streltsy doing good, so at this point I feel pretty safe about the back lines, and things are looking pretty good for us to finish off. Just some skull cannons, and what's left of this demon. I probably would say his name wrong even if I attempted it. You can see it up there when I mouse over him. Again, feel free to pause it. Get up there, I don't have his name handy. But we got the skull cannons. And that leaves just the demon himself and just this one more skull cannon over here. It's such a cool looking war machine motoring around. Here comes my Griffin Legion and Winged Lancers. Everybody just pounding in here. One all-out push to end this Gatekeeper and take control of the Brass Citadel. and an epic battle it is. Folks, I enjoyed this battle so much. It was really fun. Hopefully this gave you a good idea of my impressions of it. How did it leave me feeling? Very optimistic about a lot of new features being in Warhammer 3. It also leaves me feeling good that, although it's been a long wait, it feels like CA's been putting in a lot of work and development here. This is, again, just my opinion. If you don't agree, it's fine. Just giving you my opinion. I feel like they put in a lot of work and development on creating something familiar. This felt a lot like Warhammer 2 in terms of controls and some of the basic functions, but boy, was this a whole new experience here in the survival battles. I loved it. I'm very excited.
My brave Kislevites, we stand triumphant. But Khorne is not the only dark god with a realm in this accursed place. The battle is won, but the war goes on. Come. We must continue our search for what is lost.
So yeah, it was an epic battle. Absolutely epic. I'm very, very excited for what's coming. Obviously, I don't know anything other than what has been revealed in this, so you can ask me whatever questions you want about the game. I'll be answering them as best I can in the comments. I look forward to it. In fact, hope you all enjoyed this one, and I will be back as soon as we have some more news in Warhammer 3. And look at some of the kills here too. I went through some of the value in kills here. You'll be able to see what some of the units did. Some of them had some very impressive performance. My Streltsy and of course Zargard and other units did very well through here. But yeah, I think the Streltsy, I'm going to get over to them in just a second. Yeah, here they are. Check out the value on these guys. It's absolutely brilliant. Of course, Katarin brought in probably the most damage. But anyway, I'll see you all next time when we have some more Warhammer 3 news. I don't know exactly when that is, but I certainly look forward to it. HeirofCarthage, signing out.